Your ability to deal with challenges and your level of self-esteem are reciprocally dependent on one another. The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. And it's true, because dark days reveal us to ourselves like bright ones never could. The question is, will you like what you find there? In the winter of 2023, I was at a breaking point. Everything that I thought was making me myself was gone within a span of a few weeks. For years, my life had been centered on music and the band I performed with. The stage was where I felt like myself, knowing exactly who I was. That confidence and sense of identity were ripped away when the band was split up. I hadn't managed to make my passion pay my bills. When that was no longer a job option and I didn't know what else I liked to do, I felt like a complete loser. That loss impacted my ability to enjoy making music at all. The emptiness from losing the thing that had been making me feel alive for years turned me into a stranger in my own body. At that point, I also left a toxic relationship to enter a promising one, but got my heart broken by a sound engineer, which meant that even the professional worlds of music, the studios, the equipment, the creative spaces became contaminated with memories. Then my best friend decided out of nowhere that we shouldn't talk anymore. One day we were close, the next I was blocked. And that was also the time when I was in my second attempt to find what I'd like to study in university. After studying management for 2 years, I switched to Chinese philology, and in addition to wanting to learn about something unfamiliar to me, I was motivated by the desire to get lost among billions of people. Groundbreaking motivation, I'm aware. So while others my age were graduating, I was sitting in freshman lectures calculating that I'd spend the next 4 years of my precious youth getting a degree I wasn't even sure I needed. On top of all this, there were the first massive blackouts resulting from the now routine Russian attacks on the Ukrainian energy sector. We had electricity for a couple of hours a day at most, like we have now. I'm in Ukraine right now, and the situation is not better. But when it was first gone in the winter of 2023, it was gone for 5 days. The cold crept into everything. It added a layer of literal darkness to an already suffocating atmosphere to me. The external world matched my internal one, cold, dark, and hopeless. I tried working in the dating field as an online chat operator to do at least something while figuring out my next steps, but the emptiness I felt doing the job became unbearable after a couple of days. So there I was, no band, no love of my life, as I thought that time, no best friends, no sense of direction, no joy from the thing I loved most, no idea what could bring me the joy, no idea where to even look for opportunities, or how to make a living without hating my job. Sitting in darkness, wrapped in whatever I had, and feeling emptiness both inside and outside. Its heaviness reached the stage when I asked my mom to take me to the psychiatric hospital because of the big, round black hole I was feeling inside. The single question bothering me was, how do I feel happy again? High self-esteem would end up being my lifeline. When we hear about having high self-esteem, we might think it means feeling amazing all the time, that high self-esteem is embodied by the person who's shining with life and happiness. However, the high level of self-esteem can be seen even more clearly when someone is not at his best but at his very worst, when he's drowning and unsure whether he even deserves to save himself. Recall the last time when you had a tough period in life. Do you remember? Were you sure that you could deal with it even though you knew it would be challenging? Or did you succumb to hopelessness, unable to see a way forward? Whichever response you had comes down to this cycle. Our level of self-esteem determines our readiness to deal with ever-appearing life challenges, whether we fight or surrender. If we choose to fight, our self-esteem defines whether we fight for the best possible outcome or settle for good enough. The results either reinforce our self-esteem or tear it down. Any outcome drastically impacts our reaction and approach to the next challenges. When I was at rock bottom in Kyiv, far away from the version of myself I am now, I discovered what a pathway my self-esteem can be to me when no other anchors remain. In the middle of that hopelessness, I was still sure that I could and deserved to sort things out somehow. And that somehow required a pre-built self-esteem, an earned trust in my own mind and certainty that I could deal with reality, even though I had no plan yet. Where did the trust come from? It was built on numerous cases when I performed at my best, especially on a stage, singing or giving a talk, or completing something I was unsure I could complete. As an example, I have been stuttering since I was 6, and it's still hard to keep it under control, but there are times when I start to speak despite the fear and actually don't stutter. Those and other personal victories, however small, reminds me that I am am capable of overcoming my personal limitations and fears and reassure me in my strength in times of confusion. That's when I discovered the power of pushing yourself into situations you're afraid of. Each victory in unfamiliar or scary circumstances deposits something into your self-esteem to help you stay afloat when you need it. If this video speaks to you, like and subscribe. I make videos about philosophy, mental health, and what freedom, both personal and societal, rests upon. Self-esteem determines how much effort we believe we can devote to preserving our quality of life and our lives themselves. Why? Because making an effort, especially a huge one, that requires consistency, persistence, and patience, necessitates an earned conviction in our own mind, in our ability to rationally define what effort will create a desirable outcome, and in our strength to see this effort through the end. Even when a situation seems insurmountable, our ability to resist accepting such a fate is only as strong as our conviction that we can achieve and deserve more. For over 3 months, I searched for jobs, built a portfolio from nothing, applied to things I wasn't sure I even wanted, tried to return to music and went to local concerts to perform on my own, and looked for any opportunities to do something that could have brought me alive. And then I stumbled upon a post by the Ayn Rand Center in Ukraine, a local organization promoting objectivism. They were selecting 10 people for a year-long scholarship program. I filled out the application without fully considering what it was about, having read only one relevant book, Atlas Shrugged. But when I pressed the send the application button, the internet cut out. My application wasn't sent. I took that as a sign to take it seriously and read more about objectivism. Then sat down and rewrote the entire application. I was accepted, but later I learned that they weren't supposed to accept applicants who hadn't participated in other ARCO courses for that program, and I had no prior connection to them. However, one of the reviewers liked my motivation, and they made an exception that changed my life. Through that program, I found direction, people who shared the ideas I considered worth living for, and even my current partner, who helped pull me out of that darkness. Eventually, it brought me to the job I'm excited to grow out of bed for and do my best. To earn that level of self-esteem that can pull you out of your personal rock bottom, you have to provide your mind with evidence of your ability, actual memories of effective resolutions. Having a record of resolved problems dramatically helps you stay on track, especially a record of dealing with problems you thought you couldn't handle. The more challenges you overcome, the easier it is to believe in yourself in the future. The shorter the wallowing period is, and the sooner you get things done. Each victory, however small, becomes evidence you can use later. When facing something smaller, you'll have "I've handled worse, I certainly can handle this." Facing bigger issues, you'll have the "I used to get things done, even lacking belief in myself. This is no different, even though it seems insurmountable now." What I didn't understand back then and see clearly now is how meaningful each of my smallest victories was for getting out of the darkness. None of them felt like substantial progress at the time. You may not notice the road strengthening either, but you'll notice it when you need it most, when everything around falls apart and instead of breaking, you find solid ground inside. Self-esteem is a result of day-to-day practice that both impacts our readiness to handle adversity and becomes a consequence that defines how we handle the next challenge. It's not essentially about believing in yourself in some loud, confident way, but about a strict refusal to accept less than you believe yourself to deserve. And only you decide whether it creates a virtuous cycle in which each challenge makes your inner certainty thrive, or a vicious cycle in which each avoided struggle deepens self-doubt. I'm a big fan of filming my videos in some random locations, and this flat is exactly one of such locations. Ancient flat in Lviv, so the ending of my video should definitely be recorded here. How is the current version of myself different from that lost girl who wanted to dissolve among billions of people? Well, I'm her opposite. I'm enjoying every second of being myself and interacting with the world around me, rather than hiding from it. I no longer follow my emotions blindly. I question and adjust my reactions to my advantage, instead of channeling them against myself. And what's most important, I'm reassured that no such darkness will ever have a chance to destroy me, because every day I'm building even more solid ground inside. Thank you for watching. It was Daria. Subscribe for more videos on mental health, philosophy, and freedom. See you soon.